we're back. My first guest, of course, plays Harry Potter in the Harry Potter films. Well, now you can see him on Broadway in Equus, where he's doing an amazing job. Please welcome Daniel Radcliffe. You're bouncing around a lot.
Yeah, man, this is awesome.
Yeah. It's not often you see a chair.
I know.
Yeah.
It's been like literally days since I was last here.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for being here.
No, not at all.
Always nice to have you on the program.
And,
you know, I'm curious about something. This show Equus that you've been doing, you've brought it to the United States now, but you've been doing this for a long time in England. Is that the case?
I mean, well, we did it about a year and a half ago. We had a 4-month run, I think, in London.
Right.
And so not that I'm counting, but I think I've done it about 260 times now, including last night.
Right.
But yeah, so it's been a while. 260
times. You like the light went out of your eyes when you said that. Is it you know
a little part of me dies inside every time I count.
Yeah.
No, I am genuinely having a very, very good time. So
yeah. All right. So you enjoy doing that show?
Yeah, we have 4 weeks left. Come and see us, everybody, and you at home. Yes, absolutely. See, I know...
He wasn't giving you tickets for free.
No, I don't...
Come and see us. Yay! Okay.
Yes, I'm not buying.
Yeah, yeah. But this is important. You've done this show for a while, but it's been a big success for you.
Yes.
And I'm curious, you know, you're bringing it to this country now, and United States, and you've made little tweaks, little changes here and there to make the show, what, a little more user-friendly for Americans?
Yes. I mean, the only big change we made was that originally one of the horses in the show was called Trojan. The line was, I say, what's his name? And the guy says, Trojan. You can stroke him if you like. Now, I didn't feel that we got into the rehearsal room here and I was like, we can't call this horse Trojan. Because as soon as I said that, all the American cast kind of laughed. So, and that was the reason we cannot call the horse Trojan.
Okay,
and so we called him Hero instead.
Okay.
Very, you know, good.
What does the name of condoms in England? Do they have a different name?
We have Durex.
Oh!
Which is very kind of, that's like a really practical name. We don't try and do anything special with the name and make it sound Greek or historical. and so
it sounds heroic.
It sounds
Pardon me while I get my Trojan.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas in England, it's much more sort of, I'm just going to put on a Durex.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot less exciting.
I will now apply Durex.
Yes.
It's very clinical, that name. I think you should go to a heroic name.
I know. We've got, what can we call it, though?
Sophocles.
Sophocles,
no,
yes, that's great. The guy who wrote Oedipus.
I don't know, I'm trying to think of something, you know, Achilles.
Did I get that right? No, I'm getting confused. Sorry. Anyway, Achilles. That would have been good. I just.
What happened to you? Do you have a small stroke right there?
Yeah.
Daniel, you're like 22 years old.
I'm 19.
Oh, 19. Oh my God.
I know.
Then that stroke is even more impressive.
It's happening really, really good. I'm like Benjamin Button.
You're going the wrong way.
Yes.
Is everything okay? You just had a thought, or should we move on?
I just had a thought, and then I had another thought, which counteracted the first thought, and then I had a little meltdown. But let's move on.
You think much more going on in your head than for most Americans. We don't do that. I have one thought, and I cherish it for a year. Okay, so you've made some changes. That's good that you changed that, because you don't want people laughing. There are seats. Yeah, I'm trying to eradicate that here. If that were a problem. You have seating on the stage in this show, so that there are people kind of...
Yeah.
Some of the seating is...
on stage, and it's raised, so it's kind of like, I guess, 12 foot up, and it goes in a semicircle behind us.
So when you're performing, you have people sitting very close to you and behind you.
Yeah, which is cool, normally, because, you know, it's kind of like those old-fashioned observatories where you used to go and see bodies be dissected, and it's all about the dissection of a mind. Very deep. And, but, the other day, I walked on stage, and I walked on, and for my first entrance, and I heard... behind me, and I thought, okay, someone's a little overexcited, but let's just move on. But then I sat down on the block, and I hear, psst, psst, Dan, look up, for the entire first act of the play.
What you're trying to perform, this very powerful piece?
Yeah, and there were these 4 girls, I think, trying to talk to me. You know who you are, and trying to talk to me, which is why...
That was me! 4 girls? Yeah. You're coming. Remember I said you're coming on the show tomorrow, Dan.
But then this is why I would like to take this opportunity to initiate an initiative, which is the new initiative.
It's time you initiated an initiative.
It is. And the initiative I would like to initiate is the Broadway Annoying Audience Member Relocation Programme. So that if your phone rings more than 3 times, if you have any kind of throat infection which causes you to cough and sound like you have consumption, if you talk to the actors, or if you cannot find what's in your plastic bag for more than 10 seconds,
right.
then you are moved to the Conan O'Brien show. Or somewhere else. Or, just another show.
We've got them all here. I think the worst is when people bring food with them that they sneak in,
yes,
and I've seen people literally start to, make a burrito.
But
I saw a guy grill a fajita at Jersey Boys, It's just...
But that's the thing, is that in terms of eating stuff in play, it needs the slightest amount of forethought. Can I maybe have something to eat before I go and see a play, just enough so that I don't starve to death during the show?
Yes.
It's just a little bit of forethought would be fine.
Yeah.
We haven't had too much problem with eating, I don't think, but there's still time.
There's still time, yeah. We've now planted that thought in people's minds.
Yes, I know.
People are going to bring just a whole guacamole chip stand with them. Okay, now how are Broadway's famous for having these people that take their theater very seriously, the theater snobs. How are they treating you so far?
Very, very well. As you said, the reviews were great.
Fantastic,
and I was very surprised by that. But it was, it's a great show. But, you worry that because of the Harry Potter connection, possibly people will want to have a go. But I did have one. I sign at the stage door pretty much every night unless I'm ill. And I was signing at the stage door, and just as I was about to finish signing, and everyone's been going, "Oh, it's a great show. Well done. It's fantastic. Well, oh, thank you very much. I'm an actor. I feed off that stuff, And then I get to the last person on the last line, and she says, "I just want to say you are so much more talented than I thought you were going to be." Thanks. Thanks for coming anyway.
But you know what? Those people, I get things like that all the time. Those people are trying to say something nice. It just always comes out.
I know. It just they can't.
Strangely.
I mean, I was actually talking to, because we've had some really cool people come and see the show. One of whom was Brooke Shields, who I believe is on the show later this week.
I have no idea. I'm told these things seconds before you came out. They were like, "Get your breakfast!" Oh,
again?
Yeah.
But Brooke Shields said she once had a woman come up to her and say, "Man, I thought you were going to suck, but you didn't." Which is again, this most fantastic backhanded insult.
Right.
But
what I get is sometimes people come up to me and they say, "Oh, you're much better looking in person than you are on television."
Which is where they see most of you.
I don't, and I'm like, well, that's the only way you experience me. And then I think, how bad is it really on television?
It's
pretty bad, I think.
And when they say you're much better looking, and they're still not saying you're good looking.
No. Yeah, they're very careful. I'll be like, "Oh, good looking." They're like, no.
It's all relative.
Better looking than one would imagine possible. I don't want to vomit when I see you here.
Whereas at home I watch a show with a paper bag at all times.
You have really worked on perfecting an American accent.
Well, no, I mean, not really. As you heard just then, it's not very good. But what I've picked up more, I've got two English friends in town. Hi, Robin. He won't be watching, but he doesn't.
You just did it.
No,
you just did it.
He doesn't know.
You're like, "Oh, you hear these backhanded comments? Well, he won't watch this rubbish."
No, because
I don't want to hear anymore.
He doesn't. He's staying in a hostel. He doesn't have a telly. But he said to me the other day, he came over and said, "Dan, thank God you haven't lost your accent." He was actually I was sitting there, so he said, "Dan, thank God you haven't lost your accent." Right. And he said, "But what I have done is I've picked up on phrases." A very American thing, you may not be aware that you do this, but I've only had it illuminated to me. There's a terrible grammatical error, but I've seen it because I've started doing it, which is somebody says, "It was so weird," and I go, "Yeah, I know, right?" That's very American. I don't ever say that before.
Then that doesn't happen in England.
Yeah,
I know, right?
It just means it's a fluff of a phrase. It doesn't mean anything, But I've now started saying it, and all my friends are giving me a hard time about it.
Do kids teenagers, do they say "like" in England?
Oh,
Does
all the
like
time.
Thing,
they are rarely using similes.
Well, things have really gone down the toilet then, haven't they?
Exactly.
I don't know if I can go on tonight.
No.
But we must try.
No, they say like all the time, and I'm as guilty of it as anybody else.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to cut it out of my vocabulary,
Well,
apart from when I need it.
Yeah, there's an operation for that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Equus, I want to mention, is playing on Broadway. Fantastic show. You're getting such amazing notices at the Broadhurst Theater through February 8th. Not a lot of time left, so go and see that show. Daniel, always a pleasure having you
so
here.
much.
Really nice.
Always great talking to you.
Daniel Radcliffe. He's a good man. We'll be right back. Dr. Drew Pinsky.